Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Ross Johnston. Week 8 in the NFL wrapped up last night with the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Washington Commanders 28-7 in Arrowhead. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes started the game with 2 first-half interceptions and followed it up by throwing for 299 yards and 3 touchdowns. Former Titan Marcus Mariota went 21 of 30 for 213 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks for the Commanders. In NFL news, the New Orleans Saints have named rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck the starter for Week 9. Shuck came in last week mid-game for Spencer Rattler and went 17 of 30 for 128 yards and an interception. The New England Patriots extended cornerback and returner Marcus Jones to a 3-year deal. Jones has received an All-Pro nod in the past for his return skills. And lastly, Broncos cornerback and last year's Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain II suffered a pectoral strain in the win on Sunday over the Dallas Cowboys, which is expected to sideline him for multiple weeks and could land him on injured reserve. For your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. And I'm playing through with a hamstring injury. I got a little bit of a sore throat today because I went to watch University of Memphis basketball last night. They lost both games, but it was fun. I had fun. Had a blast.
Oh, thanks for mentioning all the things that I do on there, too.
So, playing through with a little bit of a sore throat.
It never happens.
What?
I don't know. I was at Verizon on Saturday. All the people that came out for the autograph session, it was fantastic.
Look at that. Cool. I didn't know you had an autograph session.
Yeah, so it was really cool. Sponsored by Verizon, who is the National Football League's national sponsor.
That's who I got on that's my cell phone carrier.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Oh, that's who you use?
I use Verizon.
Same here.
I'm up here trying to switch now, but they got to give me the NFL discount.
Well, you know that they got this thing where they'll match anybody's price or whatever, so there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get Verizon to sponsor the show.
Because, I use, for internet and everything else, too, so I just see where we go with that. But, yeah, it was pretty cool, man. You have fun down at the basketball game?
I did. I'm tired.
Who did they play?
They played Arkansas, so Coach Calipari came back. And they had a nice little tribute for him, 15 former players from 2000, 2009, that whole era. It was nice. They came out hot, and then Arizona just came back and whipped that butt.
Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Arkansas.
Was D. Rose there?
No D. Rose. I was a little disappointed. Joey Dorsey's apparently coaching the NBA. Didn't even know that. So learn something new all the time.
It's like 15 coaches be sitting on the back row there, and you be like, they're coaching. I wonder how much they make just to do that. They kind of like train them and do individual stuff with them on staff. So that's pretty unique. Their basketball's a little bit different.
It is. All right. Let's get to these Jarvis Brownley Jr. comments that this podcast, this Jets podcast, these 2 Jets analysts are talking about it. One of them was inside the locker room after the victory on Sunday, where Jarvis Brownley Jr. got a pass breakup. And I do want to say this about this. Everybody's going to focus on the comments that Jarvis Brownley Jr. made, but I want you to hear the analysis after that from the Jets analyst about Jarvis Brownley Jr.
There had to be something that nobody knows about with the Titans. Like, I do not get why you get rid of a guy on a rookie contract who is clearly this good. Just to give it a little behind the scenes of the locker room. So the locker room is wrapping up, and Tom Rock and I from Newsday are kind of waiting to talk to Brownlee because he had that last play. He's the last one in the locker room. Everyone else in the media already left. He's like taking his time putting on his jewelry and stuff, which is kind of funny. But at one point he asked, what time is it? And we say it's like 4:57. And he's like, oh, great. So I still have time to go watch the Titans lose. Like, he has that kind of edge to him, though. Like,
good.
You and I.
Good. You need guys like that. That's a dog.
That's what I was
Go back to
like.
Jamal Adams. That's a dog.
remember you and I talking about that earlier in the season, probably before he really started playing a role, where we're like, who is the guy in this defense that's going to like the energy giver? Like Jermaine Johnson, you could say was when he was hurt at the time. But other than that, you didn't have like a C.J. Mosley, a guy that was going to rally the troops and really just like set the tone. And it seems like he's that guy. Like he has a lot of confidence. He says all the right things. He's really fun to talk to, just as like a guy in the locker room, and he's really thoughtful, and he loves being a Jet already. So I think he's a guy that he could be like a culture changing type play, not in terms of even not saying he's going to be a superstar or anything, but just the way he plays football can be a really big boon for Aaron Glenn as he tries to find like his guys with this new regime.
I mean, sounds like us talking about Jarvis Brownley Jr., doesn't it? I mean, he may not be.
I think Denard Wilson said the same thing too, and I think the players felt that because the way he plays is contagious.
Yeah. I mean, energy giver, I think is what they said, right? Yeah. So who brings the energy?
Yeah. He reminds me a little bit of myself there. That's why I like him so much. That's why I was a little miffed by the trade. I thought there was something else going on behind the closed doors that we don't know about.
Well, I think what they said is that them, talking about the Jets people, they said that we were talking about this defense and where are the dogs on this defense? Where are the energy givers on this defense? Who's going to bring the energy and all that kind of stuff? And now they're all happy they got that guy. Yeah. And they said they were kind of honest with the assessment too, kind of like we have been, especially on this show, is that he may never be an elite player, but he's a guy that's a culture changer. Mm-hmm. You could change your culture. And I knew when he's going to Aaron Glenn, I'm like, that is a match made in heaven. Just kind of like I knew that that Denard Wilson and Jarvis Brownley Jr. are a match made in heaven. Because that's what you want your DBs to have. You want them to have that aggressive nature, that dog mentality, that energy. And
not necessarily all the outside corners, but that nickel guy and the safeties, there's got to be one of those guys has to be one of those guys.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And he brought it. I mean, I don't see either one of the guy. Well, Hooker's not that guy. He doesn't sound energy. He sounds like he's corporate.
Yeah.
But he plays solid, but I mean, he's not an Energizer Bunny type dude like that. Like he didn't come to, hey, man, we're going to lose, but if we lose, we going down fighting.
Right.
Yeah, that's how Brownlee plays. That's why that one there is going to always bug me a little bit. As I said yesterday, I didn't mind McCreary being traded because his contract was at the end, but just the fact that Brownlee still's in his rookie deal and is a good player, he was just casted in the wrong position, and I think they really knew that. But they had to have him out there just because of what he brings to the table with the energy and the dog. I think it's going to resonate with a lot of coaches, especially because that's hard to come by in these days with the way the athletes, play and getting paid in college and then trying to get to the pros, and then it's about money, and then it's never my fault, your fault, and then who comes to play every Sunday or whatever day you play. So, man, I that one miffed me. I think that's going to come back and bite him a little bit.
I think it already kind of has. I mean,
that one there, man.
You heard Denard. Well, we'll play the clip later, but Denard Wilson talks about, hey, we talk about next man up all the time, but man, sure does kind of suck not to have all three corners that we started the season with. I mean, they don't have any of the starters available to them that they started day one the season with right now, which is wild. Two of them traded, one on IR. Jarvis Brownley Jr., Roger McCreary traded yesterday, L'Jarius Sneed on IR. They have no dogs. And listen, I'm all for Brownley Jr. having that mentality, trash talking a team that gave up on him. Not the team, I guess I should say, but the people who run the front office gave up on him. Because Denard Wilson didn't give up on him. The players didn't give up on him, even though the front office is allegedly saying that through their mouthpieces in the media that he was an issue, that he was late to meetings. That's what they're sending out there now. He's late to meetings because they saw Jarvis Brownley Jr. start having good games over the Jets. Well, he's late to meetings. Never heard a complaint from Denard Wilson over it. But then, hey, he wasn't drafted by them, so what good is he to them?
We just got a lot of Titans news here in an email. about transactions.
Well, let's go through these transactions.
Let's see if y'all know any of these guys. Let's play a who he played for.
I haven't checked my phone. I was in a meeting.
Signed to an active roster, Truman Jones, outside linebacker who has 1 year of NFL experience, and he's from Harvard. Micah Robinson, the rookie, 7th-round rookie draft pick that was on Packers practice squad. He's out of Tulane, a cornerback out of Tulane. Ali Gay was placed on IR. Then you have Kimon Hall, cornerback out of North Texas with 3 years of NFL experience, and he's aged 28, 5'11", 202. He's been signed to the practice squad.
28?
28.
3 years.
Yeah, I guess 3 years of vested experience. I guess maybe this is how they do it. I'm not entirely sure.
He came out of college at 25.
Maybe he was a COVID kid. I mean, they got extra years of eligibility and everything. Signed to practice squad, Hal Presley III, wide receiver, 6'3", 210. He's a rookie out of Baylor. And then released from practice squad is O'Shawn Mathis, linebacker, 6'5", 260, out of Nebraska. I didn't even know he was on the practice squad. I've forgotten that he was on there. So a lot of roster moves.
With all your draft prep, you never heard of that guy?
No, I've heard of O'Shawn Mathis. I just didn't know they had signed him on the practice squad.
You remember anything about your analysis?
On O'Shawn Mathis, I'd have to go back and look on that one.
I remember that guy.
Yeah. I would have to go back and look at notes.
He went undrafted or drafted?
I believe he went drafted. I think he did get drafted. Probably 5th or 6th.
Oh, okay.
Let's check that because I think he got drafted. He either got drafted or drafted in the 6th round by the Rams. So that's close, 5th or 6th. So 6th round by the Rams. And he's an outside linebacker, by the way, but him out of Nebraska for the 2023 NFL draft. But I didn't even know that they had signed
What's
him.
his measurables? I know I'm
6'5", 260.
Oh, he's a pass rusher.
Yeah.
I mean, you said outside linebacker.
Well, I mean,
he's a rusher.
All right, so let me ask you this. This is an interesting question.
You say that about Harold Landry?
Yeah, I call him an outside linebacker or edge. I use outside linebacker and edge interchangeably, but I've been told that that's maybe not the way I need to be doing it.
Outside linebackers, to me, it's like Sam and Will, which are not rushers, but it's tough because teams, like you're saying.
I say off-ball linebacker for those too. So outside and off-ball are different for me.
Teams use the same designation for both, though, for whatever reason, gotcha. I guess.
There you go. I learn something new every day.
Well, I'm going to just say this. It's all about the scheme, and I'm always going to reference to what the Titans run. So that scheme. So if you're talking about the Steelers, he's 3-4 scheme. He's probably outside linebacker who also pass rushes the majority of the time, but he also drops, but they use his form as linebacker. But if you're on the Titans, I would say he's a rush in because they're more 4-3-ish look, and they are 4-2-5, which all this passing with the nickel guy being the third guy. To me, that's how you refer to the. I know. So that's how I'll get a little confused and miffed on there. How you talk on that.
Well, see, I gotta learn. I gotta learn the language. Gotta learn the language here.
Hey, man, I know Ross will help us.
There you go. Ross can keep us on track here. So going back to Jarvis Brownley Jr. again, I try not to think about Jarvis Brownley Jr. 5 times a day, but here we are.
How'd you do driving down?
I did pretty good. Did pretty good. I turned on some music for some of the rides. Some of the ride today was spent listening to some other teams' podcasts and analysis, and we'll play a few of those clips today as well because I found some stuff interesting. Mike Silver was on I guess you would say, cross-country sister station, part of the Cumulus Media, KNBR. But he talked about what he heard from his time here at the Tennessee Titans and what kind of coach they'll be looking for. And guess what? Coming up next, we'll hear from Mike Silver and what he had to say about that. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Yesterday you said you can't believe that week 8 is over and we're already talking about the draft. We're talking about draft picks. We're talking about new coaches.
That's great. I don't think that's ever happened. Like this early?
Yeah.
It must be done.
Oh man, we made history again.
Yeah. So
at least here with the Titans.
There you go. So it was.
Golly.
There's a lot of discussions, obviously, about who the next head coach should be. What should they look for? What should they not look for? And Mike Silver was here in Tennessee just a few weeks ago. He wrote an article about. Remember, there's the Jeffrey Simmons yelled at J.C. Latham article, but he was here talking to Cam Ward, observing practices, and all that kind of stuff. So Mike Silver was on KNBR, which is a San Francisco-based radio station, and he was on there to talk about Robert Saleh, the job that he is doing down in San Francisco, what he's learned from his time away from the Jets, what he's looking for next, and how he's evolved. But he did drop a little nugget because they were asked him, said, Mike, the NFL's kind of a lot about trends, right? What's the current head coaching trend in the NFL? Is it the leader of men, or is it something different right now? And here's what Mike Silver had to say.
Mike, when you look at how owners think these days, like what kind of coach do they want? Like I remember a few years ago when Sean McVay got hired and Kyle Shanahan, you saw a lot of young offensive coordinators get head coaching gigs. Then when Dan Campbell had success, you kind of saw leaders of men. And like right now, which way do you think owners lean as far as what kind of coach they want leading the way?
Well, we're kind of in that leader of men zone still, although, Aaron Glenn's having a rough start in New York. So you go up at Vrabel's back being a leader of men. I was talking to people in Tennessee who were anticipating a search after the season. It turns out that shortly after I left Nashville, they decided to fire Brian Callahan. So now we know there'll be a search after the season. But the people who will be running that search were essentially indicating to me, I don't want the hot young play caller. I want someone who's either done it before or who has great leadership credentials. I've talked to 3 people who got GM interviews last year who will be hot GM candidates this year who presumably could be running a search in conjunction with that. Every one of them told me, I'm open to a guy who's done it before and learned from it and grown. And, you hear about Matt Nagy. I would point to a guy like Brandon Staley potentially. Saleh obviously is in that group, and we saw him get the interviews immediately. But, just because someone failed or didn't, or ended up getting fired the first time around doesn't mean they're going to be bad the second time around. On the other hand, I think you can fall into the trap, as I said, just because they went out and showed they were a good coordinator again doesn't necessarily mean they'll be good. But if you're asking me right now what's in vogue, I would say it's more leader, experience, steady hand over the, wow, he calls good plays on one side of the ball or the other.
Leader, experience, steady hand. He talks about that's what they kind of indicated to him in Tennessee, the decision makers, that they don't want the hot young play caller. They want someone that's done it before, extensive leadership resume experience. And that makes sense. Now, they didn't specify offense or defense, and obviously you don't want to close off the hot young play caller because the hot young play caller may come with extensive leadership experience. But it does sound like they were going to be leaning to a prior head coach in some form or fashion. And I think really that's probably what they need at this moment in time.
Well, that's what I said in the beginning. I mean, everybody else was going with the Joe Brady and all that. I just felt like you need somebody to stabilize the organization. But I'm going to say this. I don't know where Mike Silver got that information. I'm sure it was somebody there who was trying to put out the PR and could be correct. But if I'm the Titans, I would not have put that out there if I'm them. Now, you could think that because I actually think the same thing. But if I'm doing the PR move, I'm keeping it open and close to the vest because I don't want to eliminate people that maybe Oh, I go against, and guess who will say something to them? Oh, Mr. Zach Lyons. When you go hire Joe Brady, and then you say, oh, I thought you wanted somebody with experience.
Right.
See? So that's why you don't. What you really think you keep close to the vest, what you put out there is something broad, and that way you can pivot and bounce and go in different directions if you decide to, because you don't know what the candidates will actually look like. So you may have to just pick from a pool, and somebody may wow you too, by the way. So let's don't narrow it to the general public. Granted, that's how you feel now. I do too. But you never know. I'm not in the interview process, but when they're starting the interview, that could potentially happen.
You shouldn't close yourself off to anybody.
So I just wonder where you got that information. First and foremost, I wish, I'm real big on special national guys like Mike Silver. Where you got that? At least give us a hint.
Yeah,
you don't have to tell us the actual.
I wonder if we could go back to see who he interviewed and quoted when he was down here in that article. Maybe that would tell us. Maybe.
Well, maybe. Yeah. We could at least have a better guess. Like you said it. So I would probably play that kind of game if I'm in the shoes of the National Football League organization.
Yeah,
I think that's how I would play it, because you never know.
Right.
I could sit down with Joe Brady, like him, or whoever, somebody like that, or
Zach Robinson, Chris Shula.
Right. Yeah. It could be like, ooh, or I could sit down with somebody like experience, like Saleh, and get wild by that, and then maybe we'll give him a little power there, and maybe the structure of how we pick our draft picks or free agents or something. Give him something to make him come this way. So I think this is another form of just not handling the whole situation correctly to the general public, than keeping things close to the vest.
Because we have said on this show, it needs to be about who you are, not who you are with, but who you are as a person. And we've said they may get in there and they may take a guy, and I use him because he's the closest example to Brian Callahan I can think of besides Joe Brady, Zach Robinson. And they may get a guy like Zach Robinson who's been over there at Atlanta for the last 2 years, who's been with Sean McVay, who's called plays but has never been a head coach, who has limited experience, and they may say, that guy has it. He used to play in the NFL. He's showing tremendous leadership. His players rally around him. He wants to build the culture that we want to build, but he doesn't fall into the done it before. And he may fall into the leadership part, but not the done it before part, because that's the part that everybody's really going to focus on, right? Is they done it before part.
Yeah,
they said
I agree
done it
with that, but I wouldn't put that out there.
Your message should be wide net. We're going to find the best candidate no matter what.
Yeah,
and that's really should be not only your message to the public, but that should be your motto and philosophy and approach to the interview process. Because if this is already leaking, depending on who it's coming from, that means that you practically pre-eliminated a bunch of people, because you're going to go into those meetings with confirmation bias or bias of some sort, because they don't fall into that. And now they can overcome that bias, but it's a lot harder for them to overcome that bias for you to be wowed. You may be easily wowed by someone like Robert Saleh when you maybe need to be wowed by someone like Chris Shula or Jesse Minter. The guys that have not been a head coach before that are probably deserving of it. I did not like the mention of Brandon Staley. Now, that wasn't associated with the Titans in any way. That was just a former head coach. Because I know that his players, we saw visual evidence against the Raiders that his players just gave up on him.
And you got to be careful with the wow. Oh, if he's wowing, then did he wow other teams too?
Maybe too. Maybe Brian Callahan wowed them, right?
Right, they did. But the other teams did. This is not his first interview. Nobody else hired him.
Yeah.
So, it'll start making you second guess. I just... Publicly, I think I would play this game a little bit differently, because what if you come across a Dan Campbell, a guy like that, and man, no experience, but man, I love his leadership. I love his energy level. I love what he brings to the table as far as what his mission is of how to run this organization, this team. And so, Yeah, that's bad PR.
Because I kind of put Eddie George in that Dan Campbell bucket, right?
Mm-hmm.
From everything that's been told to me by you, Kevin Dyson, Stoney's one-time experience with him.
Let's get this correct, because a lot of things get convoluted. I'm the only one who has said anything. They have commented maybe that you mentioned that I said it. So let's get that correct. I don't think they mentioned that, he's a candidate.
Well, that's true.
Talked to him.
That's true. But I mean, everything that I've heard the stories of coming off what you have said as a candidate, I'm like, okay, well, he falls into that Dan Campbell bucket.
Yeah, but I would still, if I was sitting on the board there and I'm doing the interview, I'm going to take him through the extraneous process, just like all the rest of them. I mean, if he don't check mark the things that I like, there's no way he's going to get the gig.
Yeah.
Just because he played for the Titans.
Right. I mean, no one needs to be handed, anything
or whether
right
it's
now.
Arthur Smith or whoever, Swartzy.
I'm not saying Brian Callahan was handed it, but just because it looks good on a resume doesn't mean that it needs to be what happens in real life, right? Like this interview process has to be so on point. It has to be so buttoned up, tidied up on the interviewer's end, right? Because you have to get this right. This is such a pivotal moment in this franchise. You got to learn from the mistakes that you have made. And Mike Bergonzi, I don't know. He's never hired a head coach. Let's think about that real quick. He's never hired a head coach. So I know that we want Mike Bergonzi in charge of the process, but he's been with the Chiefs and Andy Reid's been the head coach there the whole time. So I do wonder the experience in the room, how they're going to be able to overcome that and get this right. You have to have faith and hope that they do, but I don't know if they've really given us the faith and hope that they can do it.
A good example of what I'm referring to is about keep the broad net. I don't know if you guys, I can't remember their names. The two coaches they fired back-to-back with the Houston Texans, and then they went to DeMeco Ryans.
Lovie Smith and David Culley.
Yeah.
Right, Culley, right? And then they went to DeMeco Ryans. No experience. I guarantee you the radio guys, let alone the organization, say, I think we should go with someone experienced at this point. Yeah. Because the other two were somewhat, Lovey was at the end. He was out. Then he was back into the league. And then now we had, what's the guy? He's from actually Tennessee, right?
Culley,
yeah. Yeah, he's from Tennessee.
He was just under a horrible situation.
Right.
Yeah, but he coached at Tennessee, right?
Experience.
Nope.
Right. See, so they could have said, nope, we're going to go with somebody with experience. Oh, no, they didn't. They went to DeMeco Ryans. Mm-hmm. No head coaching experience. He was a DC, had a lot of success there with 49ers. So that's why you want to make that netting. You don't want to put that negativity like, we're narrowing our scope on where we're at. Yeah, you could be saying that behind closed doors, but don't, because they didn't. And then I'm sure that's what happened. They said, you know what? DeMeco Ryans is the guy. And they went. And it worked finally 3 years in a row. So you can't.
And I believe DeMeco Ryans even turned down. He was in the coaching cycle before the cycle he got hired, and turned down jobs. I heard that today. Now, that was on a San Francisco podcast where he was coming from, so they may know. So they may know. I don't remember it, but they kind of were talking about Robert Saleh turning down head coaching jobs, and they used DeMeco Ryans as an example. Well, he turned it down his first go-round. And he came back and stayed with the San Francisco an additional year. Then he took the Houston Texans job.
Okay. I'm concerned about the veteran options right now, not from the standpoint of who they are, but like we were talking before the show, and like if I'm a veteran head coach who's been a coach before, would I want to come into this situation? Am I that desperate to get back into coaching? Because
that's what I said. Yeah,
it's getting the performance on the field isn't changing. The moves are arguably getting worse and worse each week by personnel decisions, and just the outside perception is it's an incredibly dysfunctional organization. So do you think there's a guy that used to be a head coach that is that desperate to take another job again?
Well, it's only 32, but I get your point, because I'm worried. Let's say a guy like McCarthy is saying, if I have no control, why do I want to come back to coaching? Because it's one of the 32 options, and those coaches, they always are going to be coaches.
Sure. Dealing with Chad Brinker and Amy and Mike Bergonzi may be easier than dealing with
Jerry Jones.
In fact, I'd probably guarantee they're probably easier to deal with than Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones.
You think he had any part of the, selecting the players in the draft process?
Probably not much.
Right. So it's hard to say. We're not in the interview with the guys, but there's going to be somebody. But I do agree with you on that because a lot of those coaches with experience are going to have somewhat of some say-so on some things. It's just no way around it outside of calling their plays and everything else.
Well, this San Francisco podcast, whose name escapes me, they were talking about how it's kind of like getting your second job. As a head coach, you are armed with the knowledge of what you went through. And so it's kind of like buying your second house. Your first house, you don't really know what to expect. Don't know what you should be looking for. Don't know what you should be wanting, but you know you want to buy a house. Now, buying the second house, you know exactly what you want and what you can get. And someone like Robert Saleh, for example, he's getting paid a lot of money and has a lot of roster control. He is the essential head coach of the defense over there, right? For San Francisco currently. He may not want to take the job with Tennessee. He may want to I was thinking this on the way in, what if Zach Taylor is fired? If you're Robert Saleh, where do you want to go? I'd rather go to the Bengals. You got Joe Burrow for sure. You know what you got. You got Jamar Chase. You know what you can do with the defense and all that kind of stuff. You could probably make that defense better. That would be the spot. And I do think that the Tennessee Titans have admirable qualities that make them a desirable landing spot. But again, Robert Saleh just went through a lot with the Jets. I'm not saying that the Titans are the Jets, but they're pretty close. And so I do wonder I kind of feel like it's almost like an offensive head coach again because the offense really needs the less work of the two. The defense has got maybe one or two players that you can find as viable starters next year. There's a lot of work to be done. I wonder if this is a more appealing place for a offensive coach than it is a defensive coach. Not that the Titans should exclude anybody from the search.
I don't know if I really agree with that premise. I think they need more structure and discipline. So that would always be probably a defensive coach. As long as he hires a good OC, I think I would be cool either way. But you're never going to hear me say I'm going to narrow it down to just an offense or defense or experience or inexperience.
That's exactly what I just said. I would never narrow it down. I just wonder if that is what's going to happen with the state of the roster, if you're looking at it.
Well, eventually it becomes about the Jimmies and the Joes, regardless of who you hire. That's why I brought up the statement yesterday about what one player that was better than the Colts player at each position. There wasn't one. We thought of one, I think.
Yeah, we thought maybe Cedric Gray, right. Maybe the long snapper.
So it's really about the Jimmy and the Joes at the end of the day, but they got to have the proper mindset, by the way, too. But we're just undermanned really all across the board. So, here's what coaches are also going to think about. They're going to think about, well, the sky's the limit because we can only go up, right? What do I have to lose if they only win 2 or 3 games?
Well, I only have to win 4.
Right. That first year. I just got to win more.
Competitive in the other games.
Right. Okay. And then we take off. It takes a minute to kind of rev everything together, everybody on the same page, sometime quicker. So some love that kind of challenge. That's why they love coaching. They do. Yeah. They do. I'd run from that. No parts of that.
Especially, I guess the thing here is that you're not going to be shown a lot of patience, it feels like. You have to kind of trust these people that you may not know.
Well, guess what? If this is your second or third shot, and this this is the last one you'll probably get, guess what? Your bank account still says cha-ching.
That is true.
Sales cha-ching.
Also, real quick, for what it's worth, since we brought him up, it looks like D'Amico Ryans turned down a second interview with the Vikings in 22 after they fired Zimmer, and then he turned down the Broncos in 23 after they fired Nathaniel Hackett. Cycle.
That's the one, and now that you say the Broncos one, that's the one I do remember.
But so he was in that cycle before the Texans won and turned down Minnesota.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there you go. They were those guys knew their stuff.
You just, It's a hard one there, man. That's why I said we can all have an opinion, but until you sit down and have discussions with these coaches, man, that's a total different level of confidence of how you're making your decision. I mean, we can look at everybody's resumes and talk about what they did before or haven't done, and what they bring to the table, but that doesn't tell you who's the better candidate and who's going to have the success. And I didn't coach it because it's weird. Coaching is weird. Like sometimes you're like, oh man, he did a great job, and then the guy you hired you thought was proven did horrible.
Yeah,
everything's got to just mesh.
It was really weird. Like Malarkey, he was bad at the other places, but all of a sudden when he got here, he was really good.
Yeah,
for him.
Yep.
Like the expectation was like, oh man, I don't know. And he was great.
Then Mike Vrabel, he's hired
with no experience, 32nd ranked defense.
Yeah, and people didn't think he was going to be good,
right?
Because I remember not everybody was all gung ho about Mike Vrabel being the coach.
I was wondering, how do you hire somebody who was 32nd ranked defense or somewhere thereabout, and then he had no experience?
Yeah, people quoted that, right? I remember that being a big talking point, and then the other big talking point was like, oh well, he's a curmudgeon in his press conferences. And then when he answered, who's the leader on this team, he said, I'm the leader of this team.
Yeah, and nobody would have predicted that. All they would have remembered is how Vrabel was when he was a polished coach.
Yeah.
When he first got in, that was not like that. So I got to give him hats off to him for continue to grow and improve. He was nothing like that.
And you can see in hindsight, like how he could win you over in an interview, like just take control of the room and kind of galvanize everybody.
And then Brian Callahan, you go over here, and he's the modern offensive guy, has the great resume where it's worked with all these quarterbacks, and he couldn't adapt his system around the quarterback. Yeah. So you just, like you say, you just never really know. You could point and be like, Matt Nagy this, Matt Nagy that, and I don't know. I heard Matt Nagy on the New Heights podcast talking to both Kelseys, and he's talking about everything he's learned, everything he's gone through, all the stuff from Andy Reid, and you're like, okay, I don't think he would be that bad of a choice. But then I go back and like, I don't know. Because you really don't. You really don't know unless you're getting, like the Chiefs knew what they were getting with Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of do know what you're getting with Mike McCarthy. I mean, I'll make that argument. I think you know what you're getting with Mike McCarthy. You know what you're getting with Mike Tomlin. You know what you would be getting with John Harbaugh if those guys were crazily fired.
Ooh, would you pursue Harbaugh?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
You, Ross?
Yeah. I don't want a guy that's hired solely for the quarterback. Like, I think Mike McCarthy's great because he can help your quarterback development, but he's a good coach in general. It feels like the Callahan thing was just for quarterback because we thought Will Levis showed enough in his rookie year to potentially be the franchise guy. That didn't work out. Then we make our first draft pick a quarterback this time around with Callahan, and obviously now he gets fired. I just don't want it all tied to one position. As important as a quarterback is, it's about the team first.
Well, let's pick up more of this conversation coming up next, and let's go to the phone, 615-737-1045. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've been talking about coaching candidates, I guess you could say, in the big scheme of things, of what the Titans should and shouldn't do and say to the media and all that kind of stuff. But we go back to the idea of not going with a experienced hot young coordinator. And that obviously maybe Vrabel and Steve Wilks aren't considered hot young coordinators, but the three guys that they interviewed for the 2018 job opening after firing Mike Mularkey were Steve Wilks, who's never been a head coach, Matt LaFleur, who's never been a head coach or play caller, and Mike Vrabel, who's never been a head coach. And They chose Mike Vrabel. They gave him Matt LaFleur as well to kind of like get him as an offensive play caller and everything. That marriage didn't last long, but it did lead to Art Smith, right? So the idea, the whole point of bringing that up is that, hey, they did go against what they did previously. They went Ken Wisenhunt, Mike Mularkey, who are experienced head coaches in this league who have been head coaches elsewhere, and they went new guys.
Well, that was interim too.
Yeah, he was interim, obviously, but yeah. All right, but they did go with newcomers, and it worked out well. And then they went with another newcomer, and it didn't work out well. To me, it's just like, and I'm not saying you have to go newcomer again. Just don't close yourself off like you've been saying.
Counterpoint.
Well. Yeah,
those were veteran teams, more veteran teams than what we have currently.
I could say that would work, I guess, in that argument. Got more veteran leadership already built in. And Mike Mularkey did a good job building a culture as well. So
which made it easier for Vrabel.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe you could take that to that level.
No doubt. No doubt. And that's how you start making decisions. Where is your team actually at?
Yeah.
And who's the best fit for your team?
Because this team right now, lacking leadership, direction, attitude at a normal NFL level. They're below average in all those categories. And you're going to have to borrow a term I heard this morning, destroy this culture. It's a losing culture right now, and it's been a losing culture for a couple of years, and winning is the easiest way to fix it, and you're probably not going to win a lot of games next year. But you have to build a new culture. You're going to have to blow it all up again in that sense almost. And you have to have a guy that at least has a plan and a clear direction and vision for how to do that and what it's going to look like coming out the other side.
So do you believe what someone says and sells you? Or do you want to say, I want to see that you've
done it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And I'm sure this is the discussion that they're having.
You've done this before.
Yeah. I'm sure this is a discussion that they're having because, like Steve Sarkisian, right? He's kind of done that at the college level, but it's different at the NFL level. Does that translate to the NFL level? How much of that actually works? Nick Saban is another guy you could say that has done that, right? You can look at Mike McCarthy. I mean, I guess you could say that for Dallas. I mean, I don't know how tough the stuff was for him entering into Dallas and entering into Green Bay, but he was still able to build his own identity and his own culture.
But was that an experienced team?
See, that's the thing. Yeah. I don't. He's never done it with a young team. I don't know who you would choose from to be able to say they did it with a young team from the ground floor. I mean, I can't think of anybody that you could say that about.
This is what the Titans are going to do right here.
Coin flip.
Heads or tail. Heads is the one candidate, the tails is the other one. And they're like, okay, we're going to pick that guy. Because that's what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, you just hoping that you go down the road that it's the right pick.
And it's a difference because I see people saying, Cliff Kingsbury has done it at the NFL level. Well,
did he really?
That's the question.
Did he change the culture there at Arizona?
And just because he was a passenger with the Commanders version doesn't mean that he learned that he can actually do what they've done at the Commanders.
Do not make assumptions like
Brian
that.
Callahan was a passenger with all the quarterbacks he's worked with, and he wasn't able to do it here at Tennessee. So we, to your point, got to be careful about the assumptions that we make just because they were part of a team. It's who you are, not where you've been. It's like, he's from the Commanders, and they just made strides with Jaden Daniels, and they've changed that culture around. But how much of that is Dan Campbell? How much of that is Adam Peters? Like, how much of that is Jaden Daniels, and how much of that is Cliff Kingsbury? We don't know because we haven't seen him do it. Like, we have not seen him come into a piss-poor culture and right the ship to a winning culture, to a winning team. So to me, I just look at it and I go, we can't say that Cliff has done it and can do it here just because we see the Commanders have success and turn it around quickly.
How'd those Commanders look last night?
They don't look good. But a lot of injuries, obviously, but it still did not look good.
I am going to make one assumption, and I know we don't do that on this show. Yeah. They are not going to hire somebody that has no play calling experience again just because of how it went with Callahan. So if it's any offensive guy, if they haven't called plays, they're off the table.
But you're saying if that was an offensive guy.
Yeah, they might hire a defensive guy that's never called defensive plays, but I'm saying they're not going to repeat that like they do with Callahan, someone that's never called plays before.
I don't know. Never say never. Watch this. Wonder if it's somebody that wasn't a play caller at all. Would they hire that?
Who would that be?
Let's say example is Fossil. Just throwing a name out there, just not necessarily saying him. Reason why I say that is...
Oh, like John Harbaugh never called plays.
Well, that's why I was getting to, because John Harbaugh, I was stunned that he got hired. He coached us. I was on the special teams there, and I was like, oh, man, he's getting a head coaching job? Wow. Well, guess what? His leadership skills, what he learned under Andy Reid, let alone he had to deal with all the players on the entire team, even me. And so he knew every guy. And I say that, and he had relationships with everybody. So I never thought he would have that at that time, that he would have the success he's had at the Ravens. No play caller, no offensive knowledge, no defense. Never was on any side of the ball. He became the head coach. Did an excellent job. Got a Super Bowl ring, right? See? So that's why I said you just don't know. Yeah. They went probably leadership. They saw his leadership skills and said, hey, he'll do the right thing and we'll get the right people around him, and he'll know those guys who to hire because he's been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
And watch this. And he's a hardball.
Yeah, I was about to say, that last name doesn't hurt.
But I would have never predicted that he would have had that kind of success.
Yep. All right, coming up next, we'll go to Jeff and JJ. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Parents, when your teen athlete gets injured, every practice missed matters. So don't let an injury sideline their season or their dreams. Introducing Edge Athletic Recovery Program, a 2-month, twice daily sublingual peptide protocol designed to help your athlete heal faster, recover stronger, and get back on the field safely. Our science-backed peptides, BPC 157 and TB 500, support muscle, tendon, and ligament repair with no needles, no downtime, and no hassle. Safe for teens, non-GMO, gluten-free, and easy to take at home. Optional add-ons include M-Scope functional sessions and regenerative orthopedic treatments to accelerate recovery even more. So don't wait. Give your athlete the best shot at a full return to the sport and call Edge Peptide Therapy at 615-724-1878, or you can visit them online at edgepeptide.com to schedule an office consultation today. And Edge Peptide Therapy knows every game, every practice, and every dream matters.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. Broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found in Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. It only took a few weeks for me to memorize that, but I got it down now.
Yeah, man, you smooth operator right now.
We're pronouncing everything right.
I know. We've done pretty well on this show for a while now, pronouncing names.
You know that just jinxed us.
Probably did just
You
jinx
guys got
us.
That's
me.
because I have not been a participant in pronouncing anybody's name.
You guys got me. Remember when I kept calling Austin Hooper Hunter Henry?
Yep.
Man.
I'll let you guys handle that.
All right, let's go to Jeff in Gallatin. Jeff, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, guys. I want to talk a little bit about the Titans. First and foremost, Blaine, thank you for your glory days because those are far and few with this team and this franchise. But that brings me to my point. When are we as a whole and a fan base and the media going to start talking possibly Amy selling this team? Because as of right now, it's gone from bad to worse, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. We need some new blood to get this thing going in the right direction, because I don't even think Tom Brady in his prime could get this thing close to 500.
Quick question for you, man. Great point, but quick question. If you had a business, let's just use this number, and you're making $100 million a year, whether the business, your product is doing well or not, would you sell?
If I had zero interest, Blaine, in what I was doing, in which I feel Amy has, yes, I would take my money and run to the hills.
Oh, that is
Start me a new
attached
venture
to
after taking that. Only
your
because I've
family
done
legacy.
business like that.
Well, I'm only
Say
saying
again?
that because her father started it, and I just think when people think that
No, I
somebody's
get
gonna
it,
sell,
Adam.
it's
I
tough.
get what you're saying,
It's
Blaine,
tough.
and I commend Bud because he seemed like he cared, but Amy doesn't seem like she cares. And the product that's been put on the field has been subpar. Its entire franchise, it's 40 wins below 500 as a franchise. And if my stats are wrong, you can blame Google on that one. But this is a bad franchise as a whole. I'm not saying when you were there, I enjoyed it. It was great.
No. Okay.
But as a whole, it just doesn't seem like ownership cares. And we all know from any business, stuff trickles down from the top, and this thing is in complete disarray.
Yeah.
All right,
This
Jeff.
is probably the worst team ever that I've ever seen. So I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts, other than I understand the family business portion, but just wanted to get your thoughts on the possible charge behind maybe getting something moving to change our program.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Well, I would say, granted, there were some bad decisions made, but I have to give her credit, though, when she recognized that these were bad decisions, like most companies, she made a move. And sometimes it's just hard. And then when you make moves like that, sometimes it compounds, and then now you're in the situation you're at. But I got to give her credit to say, hey, I'm going to fix what I thought was a good idea. Now I'm moving on. No different than the Texans. And guess what all of us were doing here? Laughing at the Texans. That's why I keep using that example. When they hired 3 coaches 3 years in a row, they was like, guess what? We got it wrong. We're going to get it right again. Nope, we got that wrong. We're going to get it right. You got to keep swinging that bat. If not, you're not going to hit it. You're not going to hit that ball. You're not going to get the right guy. So that happens in this industry a lot. So, was it compounded by some other things because of how it trickled down as far as, your GM and then your coach? Yeah, maybe so. But at the same time, once you made those firings, that was going to happen, and you wanted to swing, and maybe you didn't have the right fit for your organization, how you want to be communicated with throughout your organization. So you could say that, but at the same time, if you won, right? If we were winning, nobody would say anything about that.
Well, nobody questioned her care for this team when they were going the AFC Championship game.
Right. Yeah.
So all of a sudden she just doesn't care. I find that the whole, and
I think she definitely cares.
I just find the whole
too
thing
much.
That's because people want to see her, which, like, I'm not saying she doesn't care. I'm saying people, I think they take, like, her not being here all the time.
I got you.
And not showing her face as she doesn't care, which I don't think is right.
Not true. I get why they think that, though, but that's not true.
But also, listen, the last person to sell the team was Dan Snyder, and he was forced to sell the team. Owners don't sell teams because this prints money.
That's what I'm saying.
Like this ain't.
I'm not selling something.
This is an automatic money maker, no matter what the product is, right? And they're about to get more money because of the new stadium, and more events can be hosted.
Oh, man.
She does care.
Yeah,
she's just not great with the decisions so far. You know, like the decisions have not worked out.
And maybe she has the end-all, be-all power, of course. But, yeah, so, hey, she's got to keep swinging till you get it right. That's why I talk about this hiring of this coach.
Yeah.
If it's a tough call, I don't care who the candidates are. It's still a tough call. You don't know if it's going to work out or not.
You need the right one. And you don't know who the right one is now.
It's like picking players. Like, you could say that guy, but, man, it's like recruiting. You don't know if that guy is going to be that good or not. Oh, he's got a 4-star rating. And he gets there and he's like, ooh, man, he's more 2. You missed it. The only thing is, you got a whole bunch of other dudes on your team. So so you can help yourself. So, hey, man, I get it, but man, no way. Nobody going to be selling that team.
Yeah, right? I mean, like, it prints her free money, right? It's not like, why would she get rid of it? I don't understand. Now, I also don't understand why all the new staff apparently got contract extensions. I forgot about that. I saw that tweet late last night.
I saw that too. I did not know that.
What are they doing?
Extended to what? I mean, no. I know it was before the season started.
Week 18?
Yeah.
To win?
To week 18.
I was like, whoa, what is this? I said somebody is messing around here. I thought it was a joke, to be honest.
Who hired Mike Mularkey? Amy Adams-Strunk.
Yeah. I'm still stuck with this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I haven't read the article. I just saw it while I was at the game, and I showed my friend. I was like, you're not going to believe this, what they've done. I haven't read the article, so I have to go back and read the article. But this idea that Amy doesn't care.
Yeah, that's not
this is not true. Yeah, it's not true. And this idea that you have to hear from her. Woody Johnson went up and spoke in front of all the entire media. Do you think that helped the Jets fans be put at ease recently?
It didn't even have Fields. he talked about it a little bit, like, hey, man.
And then the people are like, well, Carly Ursay's down on the sidelines. Well, she's been down on the sidelines for about 5 or 6 years now.
She's been out for a while.
She's been down there for a while. Does Amy need to be down there for you guys to feel safe?
No.
Would y'all want to hear an Amy Adams, Jerry Jones post-game press conference?
No. You guys want the weirdest things. All you should care about is whether or not you get this next hire right and the product is good. Her being down on the field with the headset on ain't going to change that. Her speaking to the media ain't going to change that. What's going to change is her hiring the right person, like when she hired Mike Mularkey, when she hired Mike Vrabel.
Who do you think had the final say so while the coach was fired? The head coach.
There you go.
This is
because she cares.
Yep.
It's simple. This is very simple. You guys try to make simple stuff way more complicated than it should be.
But I think it's something to what Ross said, though. And I think it's because they never see her. So they think that she doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I think that's so far from the truth. But I can see why some people, I would never think that.
Yeah.
It's like if you were in an office building and your business wasn't doing well and you never saw the boss. Well, maybe he's working a lot behind the scenes. Y'all are struggling. Doesn't mean he's not trying.
If she didn't care about the success and product on this field, she wouldn't have fired John Robinson. She wouldn't have fired Mike Vrabel when they were trending downward. She wouldn't have fired Brian Callahan when they were trending down. She's trying to find a winning formula for sustained year in, year out success. It just hasn't worked for her. That's pretty much what it comes down to, is that it just hasn't worked. All right, let's go to James in Ashland City. James, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that she doesn't care about the team like the previous caller did, but guys, stop. There's a reason why a decade ago the NFL wanted this family to sell the franchise. Have y'all forgotten about that? It's because this family does not know what the hell they're doing. Amy listens to the wrong people. First of all, you're right. Mularkey should have never been fired. He made the playoffs, and the people who are making these draft picks, who drafts a DB who's got a bad back in the first round? Who gets rid of your best wide receiver? Who lets Jack Conklin walk And that was the beginning of the downfall of the offensive line. You can't blame the coaches. You got to blame the ownership and the stupid manner GMs they've had. And we're just sick of it. We're sick of it. Sell the damn team. Thank you.
Well, if the NFL wanted that to happen so bad, it would have happened.
I am so surprised I did not have to hit the dump button right there.
Boy, he was lit.
And I'm not blaming Amy for Jack Conklin. That's John Robinson.
But he said that goes back to the owner that hired there. And then guess what? When she realized that he were making those bad decisions, she axed him.
And 10 years ago, when they wanted them to quote unquote sell the team, they wanted quote unquote majority owner listed. That was what that was about 10 years ago, was they wanted the majority owner. And guess what? They got the majority owner. They've been happy ever since. Have we heard them trying to get the team to sell it? No. Have the NFL forced them to sell? Got to get the facts straight if you're going to call into the show. All right, let's go to JJ. JJ, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Yeah, Google.
And JJ waited all this time.
JJ McCarthy.
All right, JJ. Maybe you could try again later.
What's TITS? I know you're just abbreviating.
Short for Titans.
I know you want to type it all in.
Okay.
Well,
Every time
we
I
need the
look up
birds
there,
and the bees.
I just laugh.
We need to do birds and bees.
Wait a minute. Is this caller?
I got a group chat with two of my best friends that's called that too. For the Titans. For Titans. So
Gotcha.
it's,
So
it's easy for me.
Why don't you
I might
just put TT?
There's someone calling in right now. I might put it for them. We'll see.
TT.
Right, maybe it's JJ calling back, getting his phone all worked out. But, that's what the TITS stands for there. Not the other thing.
It takes your mind down into the gutter there. Stop that, Ross, man. I know you're a youngster.
Some people in the chat are saying that JJ got scared because of the last caller.
I was getting a little nervous, too. If he was here in person, man, I don't know, man. I want to start looking around for an escape area.
He was trying to get his earbuds in or something,
all right.
allegedly.
JJ, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, man, I was looking at escape room.
Hey guys, the show today is so provocative. I'm burning brain cells. So I think we can agree that caring about things and being committed to things and ineptitude, some level of ineptitude can coexist. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and I'm speaking about Amy here. I've been convinced as a successful businessman now for a couple of years about the team that they're just the troubles at the top. And we're finally getting there. I hate to say disparaged or, we've called out the coach. We've called out Will Levis. Now we're calling out the director of operations and the general manager. We're calling out the entire team except for one guy. Two questions. Do we really have enough faith? Titans fans have lost faith. And everything I just enumerated. Do we really have enough faith to think that Amy can make decisions now, all of a sudden out of the blue, given her amount of care and commitment, but also an ineptitude that's going to turn this ship around? Question number one. Question number two. I'm a successful coach. I'm looking for a new gig, and I come in and I interview with the Titans, and I might be the ideal guy, and they make me the offer. But man, what's the odds that I look around at the culture and think, I don't want any part of this? Right? Make sense?
It makes sense, but I will say that Amy Adams-Strunk did make the decisions that turned this franchise around for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why can't we understand that, yes, she's had some good processes with bad results and some good processes with good results?
Yeah, I mean, and that happens in sports. I just think it's the compounding effect of, now three times in a row, I guess, the culmination of fire. And I think what happens is, I said this a little bit last week, I just think, she puts her trust in some people to make decisions, and then she finds out that those weren't good decisions.
Yeah.
And then she gives them the axe. So, now you try to go back and go to the drawing board and get the right call.
If you're Brinker, you better get this hire right.
Oh, yeah. Brinker is on it. Yeah, what they're doing now to the team, they're stripping it to the bare bones based off what they're doing.
They are.
And I never thought we'd get to this point. I really didn't. regardless of how many games we win. I didn't think we were going to be very good this year. I didn't think we'd look like this, though, as far as just not being able to play a full game consistently. So, I think people think that, when you run a business and you're, let's say, somewhat absentee owner, that you're going to get all the things right when you're not there all the time. And all you can do is reference to the people that you put in power, not the people under them, but the people in power that you trust in. And maybe they've gotten it wrong. And then she hence makes moves afterwards.
There you go. All right, coming up next, it's time for our weekly Mack Attack with Coach Mack. Brought to you by Tours Ford, South's most trusted Ford dealer. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. And you hear the music. That means it's time for our weekly Mack Attack with Coach Mack, brought to you by Tours Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. And Coach Mack, while it was definitely a loss and a loss for the ages, what have you seen from Cam Ward now 2 weeks since Mike McCoy has taken over?
Well, I mean, look, he's a developing young quarterback, and so I've seen the same thing. He's had up and down, uneven performances, and that's just what a rookie quarterback goes through, especially when you start, having issues other than at the quarterback situation. So it's not anything I haven't experienced before with a young quarterback, but you can see flashes of where he's got the ability to do some things that you want him to do. It's a matter of getting time on task, and all you have to do is look around the league at all of the quarterbacks that are at their second or third or fourth stops that are being successful. Takes a little bit of time at that position, just like any other position.
When you're looking at Cam Ward and, going out of bounds instead of throwing it away on a sack and those kinds of errors that he makes, how do you coach that out of him? Because he is obviously looking to the very last minute for that big play. So how do you kind of coach that out of him?
Yeah, you don't coach it out of him. You just point it out to him. I mean, he knows it. I mean, he sees it. There's not anything you do specifically to coach it out of him. You just point it out and say, hey, look, situational awareness with what's going on in the ball game. This is probably where you need to dump it instead of running out of bounds.
With Chimere DK's emergence, Elikai Manor was targeted a lot. This youth movement with them two and Gunnar Helm, how much of that is a benefit for Cam Ward and those players to kind of get this experience and reps in a season and get this experience and reps in a season together?
You can't manufacture that experience, but I mean, that's who you have. I mean, those are your players. I mean, I don't know why anybody's shocked that young players are playing a lot, because that's what you have on this roster. And it was already said way early before this thing ever started this year that, it was going to be, they're going to draft young players and they're going to play young players, and to develop young players, you got to be able to play them. So that's not anything that is, should be a surprise to anybody, but the fact that these guys are getting, to your point, they're getting time on task together, that's going to help.
We're going talking all things Tennessee Titans with Coach Mack, brought to you by Tours Ford, South's most trusted Ford dealer.
Well, Coach, speaking of young players, Winston Jr. seemed like he was out there on defense, at least for part of the game, a lot. What did you see from him in his first, I guess, let's say, time that he's played it, a lot more time instead of substitution guy?
Yeah, again, I mean, you can speak better than anybody about this. Mm-hmm. I've been around it for a long time. You lived it. You got to be able to play to develop. I mean, that's just what it is. And I think that there's some real promise there, and there's going to be some growing pains with young players playing. That's just all there is to it. Because you can't know. You just can't know. You know yourself as having been a young player, you came into a veteran team, and then being a veteran player, there's things that you can point out to younger players that they don't even realize until it's pointed out to them. But most of the time, they don't realize it until they've experienced it firsthand. That's what all of these guys are doing now.
Man, Coach, I thought about you, man, when I saw Taylor just kept running through the defense and the guys missing tackles. I said, God dang it. What the heck is going on? What, when you see that up there, how do you, control your emotions, man? That's why I'm not broadcasting. I'd be like, oh, my God, why did he miss that tackle? Oh, I forgot I'm on air.
Yeah, well, I got the FCC to worry about. You got to be professional. You got to be even keeled and just try to display, portray what's going on out there. But the missed tackles, yeah, that bothers me a lot. I mean, it bothers them too, because as well as I do, the one thing that bothers you more defensively than anything else, and I think, you can agree with me or not, but I know you agree with me because I know the kind of player you were and the systems that you were brought up in. You can't. A lot of things can happen. They can hit some of those combat catches that they caught. That's life. They're going to catch bombs.
But when people can run the football consistently on you, that's really, really bothersome. And that really bothers your pride. I mean, it always bothered my pride, and it always bothered the pride of the defenses that I coached.
Yeah, no doubt. I was right there with you. Well, Coach, it seems like they got the running game going just a little bit more. How do you see the run game kind of continue on and kind of building on that? I think they got over 100 yards total with both Spears and Pollard and crew. Do you think that's something they may lean into a little bit more if the game is somewhat manageable?
There, you said it right there. You said the magic words. Of course, you know what it is. The game is manageable. Once the game is still manageable, yes, then you've got to be able to have a two-tiered offense and be able to run it, and then not only throw it, but throw it off of the run action. And you got to make defenses recognize that when it gets to be a 2 or a 3-score separation, all of that is out the window. It becomes a different mindset. It's a different mindset for defenses because now they could care less if they've got a 3-score lead if you're running the football. They just could care less because it's eating clock, it's not eating stripes, it's a methodical move down the football field, unless, you give up a 80-yarder, which, it should not happen. I mean, that's very rare in this league. But running the football is a great, great equalizer if, as you said, your magic sentence there was keep the game manageable.
Mm-hmm, no doubt about it. We're on with Coach Mack giving us the Mack attack. And, Coach, this is 2 games in a row with the interim coach McCoy that the offense, the first half, I go, oh, man, I could see where we're going with this. And then the second half, we kind of fall off. I'm wondering, do you see anything that maybe to the normal guy that's watching the game that maybe they're doing on offense? Because defense didn't play well at all, but I understand that. But, man, when I look at the offense, I'm like, man, it was so good. What happened in the second half? Did you see anything that kind of was different or the game was different and that's why it kind of went that way?
Well, the game was different because the score got separated so quick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of a sudden, when it flipped, when it's 17-7, and all of a sudden it flipped, they get 2 immediate scores. Now you're 3 scores down. That's what I saw in this last week.
Okay. Well, lastly for me, we got those old Chargers coming into town, man. What have you seen from the Chargers? Because they run the ball, throw the ball. I mean, man, I was looking at them. I was like, oh, man, we're going to be in a world hurt again.
Yeah, they're a good team. I mean, I've just been grinding tape for 2 days now on them, and because I wasn't real familiar with them, just other than the fact that I know who their guys are. But when you start digging into it, Justin Herbert, I mean, he's throwing at about a 68% clip, 16 touchdowns. I think he's only thrown 7 picks, but he's also got about 248 yards rushing for a 6.7-yard average. This is a double threat quarterback. Wow. So that's the first thing when I looked at it. And then their wide receiver group, Keenan Allen, who's been playing for 200 years, all right, and is still really good, one of the best route runners in the league. Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey together. I mean, I just ran the numbers on them today when I got through several of the tape. 91 catches for 947 yards and 7 touchdowns. But the guy that's scoring a lot of touchdowns, not a lot of catches, but touchdowns, is their frog, Quentin Johnston, 5 touchdowns. So, I mean, that's a guy that they go to quite a bit, for the touchdowns. So what you're looking at basically 12 touchdowns among all 3 of those receivers. So that's very good. On the defensive side of it, Tuli Tuilapotu and Justin Igabogi, the 10 sacks combined, they got some dudes on defense, and they play very, very well off of that offense. That offense is a 2-tiered offense as far as being able to run it, and then they're throwing it and catching it very, very well. So I mean they're 5-3 for a reason. They're a good team.
Those 2 defenders you named, I'm going to make Blaine repeat those names later on in the show. Do you think he can do it?
No, we should do that. That should be a game on Friday.
Blaine, say Tuli and Justin. You got it right there.
Yep, that's what I do. I just say the first names. I know.
A little cheat sheet for you there. Oh, with this Titans team, I got a question from Ross here for you. He's noticed that when he's watching this Titans offense on third downs, they use a lot of trips or bunches to one side. Can you talk about the advantages of that on third down for the offense?
Well, it just depends on what the defense is playing. And, of course, with film study, what you do, you look at tendencies on film study. When they've got 3-by-1, most of it is 3-by-1 9-ball stack, as to where people are in man-to-man and you're trying to get a 3-tier break out of that. That's why people do that in this league, by either alignment or motion. That 9-ball stack. If y'all ever played 9-ball in the pool hall, it's a different looking rack that you put with 9-ball, but you got a point and you got two guys sitting in a triangle just right next to each other. So most of the time it's because people are playing man-to-man in the situations that they're in, and they're trying to get a 3-tier break off of that.
The cornerback room is going to look drastically different for the most part, with the departure of Roger McCreary, L'Jarius Sneed still on IR, and Jarvis Brownley Jr. obviously traded a few days ago. Next man up is always the message. With Jalen Armour-Davis, we assume, Marcus Harris, Sam Womack, and maybe the guy they just signed, whose name's escaping me right now. But when you have all these guys that don't maybe have a lot of experience in the NFL by the standards at what you've lost, as a defensive coordinator, how do you keep those guys confident in their ability and all that kind of stuff heading into a game where you are facing a high-powered offense that's going to test these corners?
Well, you make it pretty simple for them. Whether you make it simple or not, just like in the last ball game, you still have to be able to make the play at the point of attack, the point of catch. Last week, both of those contested catches were good coverage. Just the receiver won. But the main thing you do defensively, I've experienced all of these things in my, over a 31-year coaching career. You're going to experience a lot of them. I can remember having playing the Raiders one year when I had a brand new cornerback in, and I told him, look, by quarters, just flip him to the side that I'm standing on, and I'll tell him what to do.
I like it. All right, that was Coach Mack for his weekly Mack Attack, brought to you by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Coach, we greatly appreciate it, and enjoy the game on Sunday.
Guys, appreciate both of you. Blaine, you'll crush it. Just remember, Thule and Justin, you got it.
Thule and Justin. There you go. I was going to make you say those names. I saw your face, Blaine. When he said those names, you're like, what?
Yeah, that was just like my dog's ears go back, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right, coming up next, more of your phone calls, 615-737-1045. We'll go to Shelton and Mount Juliet when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone.
There are a lot of things Americans split on 50-50. Politics, working from home versus the office, coffee versus tea. But there's one thing we all agree on. Hey, it's Blaine Bishop. Taking your car in for repairs can be complicated. Your repair is only as good as the person under the hood. And most of the problems in fixing your vehicle is a knowledge issue, not someone trying to rip you off. At least I hope so. And a lot of techs are not properly trained. So they end up guessing what to do, and that causes delays in getting your vehicle back or a repeat visit for the same freaking issue. For around a quarter century, Eurofix has done things differently. Every visit starts with a free 15-minute no-rinse inspection, as you know what's going on before they even start the work. And at Eurofix, they pay attention and pay their technicians more than any company, so there's no distractions on who's good at what they do. They know they have the brightest talent around. And Eurofix still fixes European vehicles at below dealer pricing with a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all work Eurofix performs, and rental cars are available as well. Located and owned all over the state of Tennessee, 5 locations. So if you want an appointment, all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Let's go to Shelton out in Mount Juliet. Shelton, you're on Blaine and Zach.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope y'all doing good. How we doing, Blaine? How we doing, Zach?
Yeah, good, Shelton.
Doing good.
Just real quick, man. I'm actually a Pittsburgh Steelers fan at heart, but my big brother had PSL tickets for the Titans. We've been big supporters since they've been here. But, to be honest with you, for Amy Strunk, her absence and her not saying anything, that does speak volumes, man, because to be honest with you, in a market like Pittsburgh, you best believe if you listen to their radio in the morning, they're on fire right now, and they definitely hold their ownership accountable. And Amy, how many times you have to fall on your face before you actually, come out and say something publicly? Because you owe that to the PSL holders, man. It sounds easy to sit at the house, but think about all those PSL holders that are spending those thousands of dollars. Yeah, it's not going to change the product on the field, but you got to at least reassure that you're doing something for your actual customer base, but your fan base, man, because people are spending their hard-earned money going to these games, and it means something. If I'm running for mayor, people ain't going to go out there to the ballot box to vote for me if I'm just saying, oh, y'all go out there and tell them to vote for me. No, I got to show my face. I got to touch the people and at least go out there and say that I got a plan and this is what we're going to do and hold myself accountable. That's cowardice, man. I appreciate the show, man.
Well, real quick, is Art Rooney out there speaking to the media right now?
No, he's not speaking because this is the thing. We have a defensive problem. We have a defense problem, obviously. Last time I checked, the Pittsburgh Steelers, we're number one in our division.
Yeah.
So and he's definitely open, and even during training camp and all the things. Tell me,
Gotcha.
In one occasion where we've seen Amy Strunk come out and say anything, when we had the Ring of Honor, she, of course, the fans let her have it out there. She didn't say anything. She kind of held her head down and walked back out. You can't just be just a face card. You got to be of the people, especially in this job, in this in this fan base for this market in Nashville. We need to see that. The PSL holders, they need to see that. We need to feel that.
I kind of get that, but also you're wanting her to come out and speak, but while the radio stations are on fire in Pittsburgh, like you had said,
oh yeah,
you aren't hearing from Art in the middle of the season. Are you hearing from Omar Khan in the middle of the season up there? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a Steelers guy, so I'm trying to figure out why we're holding someone else to a different standard than the others.
Oh no. I definitely understand what you're saying, but the point I was making is the guys, all the radio heads there in Pittsburgh, and even the fans. I mean, you got to think, guys. We're in the playoffs. That's like a layup for Pittsburgh Steelers for us to get in the playoffs. Right. Our mission is to always win a Super Bowl every single year,
right?
And we're kind of a spoiled fan base, But of course, like the Rooneys and whatnot, you can definitely Google it and see where they have come out and spoken on situations. Even Mike Tomlin, his job status and what they plan on doing in free agency. Even Omar Khan, he lays out a plan, tell you what he's going to do. We've never seen that from Amy Strunk, man. She hasn't said one word. She's been silent, as a church mouse, man. And she owes it to these PSL holders. You got that brand new stadium coming, that new dome coming. And best believe, man, I'm not trying to line anybody's pockets, but in this economy, people are going to be spending even more money. You're asking for more money for them to put in those PSLs, for people to put their butts in the seats, and you won't even come out and just say two words, not even a written statement, man. Think about that.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but also they're selling out the PSLs. You know what I'm saying? What he's saying that she needs to do because they need to sell PSLs, well, she is not doing it, and they're selling PSLs.
Right. I think, what did Burton Hill said? It was like 70 or 80%. That was
a couple of months,
he did.
Middle of the summer is like 70%, if I'm not mistaken.
And I get what the caller's saying, and I actually agree with him to a certain extent. I think eventually she will come out and talk now after all the turmoil and everything is over, and then talk about the vision probably when they hire a new head coach.
Yeah.
I think because there's so many things that's happening and culminating, she's probably saying let's just wait till all this is over, and then I'll come and speak when we, address a new head coach, which I hope she is present.
Well, Ramon Foster is in the F&M Bank chat, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook Live, who is very plugged into how the Steelers do things. And he says, I love this, but Art has never said anything other than our goal is the Super Bowl. And he speaks one time at the beginning of the season, one time at the end of the season. So, and Omar Khan, he kind of alluded to that. He's not going on the radio or he's not doing pressers right now.
The Steelers is much higher. Them losing in the first round of the playoffs over the last 3 or 4 years is like, what? Like it's the end of the world. And now they're talking about Tomlin may not be there. What? Are you kidding me? See, so, I think it's somewhat par for the course most.
Yeah, and also, what do you want her to say other than what she's already has said in every written statement in the Teresa Walker interview video?
Exactly
from a couple
what I was going to say.
Like, there's nothing that she says is going to make you feel better. Mm-mm. Nothing that she says is automatically going to take this 1-7 team into a 9-8 team right now this year. Mm-hmm. It's really. You guys,
she's going to come out and say, we're going to strip it to the bare bones and we're going to suck for a year, That's what she's going to say. What if somebody said
this
that?
is what they want.
What if an owner said that? I don't think Jerry Jones would say something like that.
This is what I think people want. It ties into the last thing about, like, people don't think she cares because they're not seeing her. I think people want to hear this positive message of hope from her to try to show that she cares and she's into this whole thing, which is, like, cool. Say she does that. It's not going to make a difference until the team wins games. So she could give the best message possible, but if they keep losing, you're going to feel the same type of way you feel right now.
Again, I just don't get it. Jets fans don't feel any better.
Losing battle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The Jets fans don't feel any better after Woody Johnson spoke.
Yeah, when he said it feels, then I learned to complete the pass.
If we can learn to complete, they don't feel any better. You know why they feel better this Monday than last Monday? Because they won a game.
Yeah, they won.
And they didn't win a game because Woody Johnson came out and spoke. They won a game because Justin Fields and this team finally put together 4 full quarters. I don't understand why we have to hear from Amy other than I think that people want her to say something so they could be mad at it. Like they want to throw tomatoes at her for the most part. I get that maybe owners should maybe do something sort of similar to what Art Rooney does, and I've seen Sheila Ford Hampton do it. A presser here and there. One at the beginning of the season, one at the end. I'm okay with that. Yeah. But they don't need to come out and answer for every trade, every signing, every this and that. And it feels like people just want that. They just want to be mad at her, and that's all they want. And like, I get it. Ownership has not made the good decisions here and there. But to say that again, she made the decision to hire Mike Vrabel and hire Mike Mularkey that gave you success. Like, we have to say at least that she did do that. The decisions now have not been that good. That happens in the NFL.
What if she came out and said, hey, look, I understand everybody's perspective. We look like crap. What if she just really says it, gave it from the heart and said, but I am determined to make sure that I keep swinging this bat and I'm going to try to get it right. Hey, and I'm hoping I do. And once we get it right, this thing is going to take off. But for the meantime, I am very apologetic and love the support you have done for this team and my family with this team. But right now, we're not very good, and I understand your frustration. Just think about it. I'm the owner. How frustrated you think I freaking am?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get it right. And then that's all I'm going to say. No questions, no nothing. Because there is nothing to really say at this point in time.
And see, people would react to that. They'd be like, sweet, she said something. We heard from her. Team starts 0-5
I think some people would still be like,
upset.
that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I think, you know what I would say? That's fake.
Hey, man.
That didn't come off as natural, or that didn't come off as believable. Because she has said that. I mean, not tone.
Right.
But, she did it in her words and her version. And now we need to hear it again for some reason. I don't know.
You're in a losing proposition, man. That's why.
Is this are we coming up or show's over here, Ross? Is that what you're telling me?
I guess, yeah.
Oh, man, it's too...
It's a quick day. First hour, it's 2 hours. We kind of went by a little quick.
It blew by.
Real quick, would either of y'all even want to hear from Amy? Like, do you want to hear from her?
The only reason I want to hear from her now is so people will shut up about it.
Oh, no. I want to hear her when we hire the new coach. Yeah. New head coach.
But no, just overall message of hope from her?
I get why media wants her to do it.
Maybe this summer or something.
But I can't get behind it to care enough.
The team is not very good.
Maybe in the summer.
This summer.
Yeah, I just can't care enough at this point. All right, that will do it for us. 3HL's up next. This has been Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime...
And in between time...
Peace.
Come on, tighten up. Parents, when your teen athlete gets injured, every practice missed matters. So don't let an injury sideline their season or their dreams. Introducing Edge Athletic Recovery Program, a 2-month, twice daily sublingual peptide protocol designed to help your athlete heal faster, recover stronger, and get back on the field safely. Our science-backed peptides, BPC 157 and TB 500, support muscle, tendon, and ligament repair with no needles, no downtime, and no hassle. Safe for teens, non-GMO, gluten-free, and easy to take at home. Optional add-ons include M-Scope functional sessions and regenerative orthopedic treatments to accelerate recovery even more. So don't wait. Give your athlete the best shot at a full return to the sport and call Edge Peptide Therapy at 615-724-1878, or you can visit them online at edgepeptide.com to schedule an office consultation today. And Edge Peptide Therapy knows every game, every practice, and every dream matters.